My pleasure to be with you, the chairman of the committee. Thank you for having me.
Microphone, please.
As Mary said, I am different than a lot of people. I am both an entrepreneur
Microphone, sir.
and a corporate executive.
Yeah,
Is that better? I've served as both an entrepreneur, a founder of a company, as well as a corporate executive, a journalist, and an educator. Regarding the very simple issue of gas prices in small business, the simple fact is that virtually every product bought or sold in America winds up being transported in a car or truck at some point in the consumption process. So rising gas prices affect everyone, every business, and fuel surcharges are making matters worse because most small businesses absorb them. Those fuel prices have a multiplier effect since rising prices affect the cost of doing business for the company as well as the cost of living for the consumer. Historically, small businesses run much thinner margins than do large competitors. They have less leverage in negotiating pricing for transportation, marketing, labor. There are two simple choices to reverse declining profits and minimize losses. We either cut costs or we increase prices. Typically, the first way businesses attack rising prices or shrinking profits is to reduce labor costs. It's simply the largest cost center most companies face. When I was asked about shrinking profits and losses, like many small business owners, the first salary I cut was my own. The American economy is driven by consumer spending. When unemployment increases, consumer spending will likely decline. If you earn less, you spend less. That affects small business. The slides that I'll show you are from a poll that the Meinders School of Business took last month. It is provided, by the way, to the Federal Reserve Bank, the Kansas City branch, and for the Open Market Committee. It mirrors what the University of Michigan poll shows, and as you can see, the decline in the graphs is noticeably negative. Business and personal expectations, 50% of consumers in 16 middle American states now say that they believe the coming year will be bad for business. That is up from 37% and 20% last May. In terms of their current financial position, 39% of the respondents said they believe their financial situation will be worse. 47% of the consumers believe the next 5 years will bring periods of depression versus 37% in October. Women, you'll notice, are considerably more pessimistic than men. The decline in the thinking now is also showing up in durable household items. The purchase of those down from 46% to 38%. Consumers continue to change their habits as a result of gas prices. As you can see, for all categories, 53% of all consumers, 58% of women say they are now driving less. And all of the, and by the way, it goes across all the different categories across the United States, North Central, South Central, and so on. All of the demographics are in the handout I've given you. SBA numbers document some of the problems already occurring. Business bankruptcy has risen for the last 4 quarters. The same time, business optimism, consumer sentiment optimism, both declining as a result of rising unemployment. Inflation is impacting consumer prices. At $3 a gallon, consumer discretionary spending winds up, in fact, impacting quick service and casual themed restaurants, who alone have shown a loss of 10% of their customers so far in the last few months. Soft good purchases at chain stores, many of which operate as small franchisees, and thousands of independent merchants are down, along with ticket sales at movie theaters. Small businesses are also starting to place many minorities, women's, and immigrants, which is where they quite often begin their career and already face social and economic challenges, are beginning to be squeezed as a result. Rising fuel prices pose an enhanced threat for business owners at a very time when we're talking about increasing diversity. Rising fuel prices have resulted in poor sales, declining profits and losses from Macy's, Walmart, Sears, Wilson's Leathers, Applebee's, not to mention thousands of mom-and-pop restaurants, and as well as high-end stores like Nordstrom's. Liz Claiborne is shuttering 54 Sigrid Olsen stores. Ann Taylor closing 117 of their 1,921 stores. Talbot's closing all of its men's and children's stores, along with 22 women's stores. Even Target and Starbucks are seeing a decline. All of those companies are serviced by small businesses who do window washing, custodial services, paper products, delivery, alterations. Vacancy rates at shopping centers, regional malls, down dramatically. National retail vacancy rates rose for the 11th straight quarter to the highest level since 1996. And there's 34 million feet of new construction underway. All of that paints a dark picture for small business. Corporate defaults, bankruptcies, rising fuel prices not only threaten the airlines, but all of the small businesses that service them. Recently, members of Congress called in the heads of the oil companies to talk about rising profits. The truth of the matter is that's what will lead to a solution here. Rising profits mean an increase in drilling, an increase in exploration, and more jobs. And so we shouldn't penalize a company that's doing well, even if it is in the face affecting all of us in the near term. The problem is increased demand. China and India and a host of other countries increasing demand more than anyone would have imagined just 5 or 10 years ago. Thank you very much.